This is my John Deere 318. This is what currently helps me around the yard. I have a little buck loader attached to the front, and I also have a Rug 3-point hitch. The John Deere 318 has two hydraulic levers. One controls a set of ports on the front of the tractor, and the other one controls the other set of ports, but it also shares the control for the rock shaft. The problem is I also use an attachment on the rear, so every time I go to dump the bucket or the little buck loader, I also move the rear attachment. So my plan is to do a H3 conversion, which means that it'll install a third lever on the tractor so that way I can control the rear 3 points separately from the front. My conversion kit came from Auxiliary Hydraulics. The first step is to disconnect all the electrical that is going to the seat pan. Loosen and remove all the bolts that are holding the seat pan onto the tractor frame. Go ahead and remove the gas cap. There should be some spacers under the front two mounting holes of the seat pan. Next, go ahead and remove the seat pan. Disconnect and remove the battery. Next, remove the battery tray. Now you can start working on removing the left side panel. Remove the fuel selector by removing the large nut on the front side and then feed it through. The directions then say to remove a sheet metal nut that is on the frame. Now we get to start removing the hydraulic levers. The cotter pins need to be removed one at a time from the hydraulic levers. It took me a lot more time than you see on camera. I would recommend using some long needle nose pliers. Once you have the pins removed, you can work on removing the lever assembly.
Yeah. they are.
Next, the line has to be disconnected and removed from underneath of the tractor. Loosen and disconnect the line here, then move up to the top side. I recommend using an angled wrench to get at the hydraulic line. Loosen and disconnect the fitting.
This one up here is removed on step 18. This one is the next one to be removed in step 19. Let's see. I ended up disconnecting this line from here in order so I can back out the other line. The next thing to be removed is a nut that's right in there that holds these two tubes together to brace them. You can get it from underneath using a 10mm socket, a short extension 1/4-inch ratchet. You just gotta fish it up there and push away all the tubings that are in the way. To remove this, there's just too much stuff in the way. I think if you pull that out, then by disconnecting the brake line, you can kind of squeeze some stuff down in there. And then, let's see if I can feed this through. Instructions call for drilling a 3/8 hole if it is not there. I'll have to measure and see if that's actually the hole that it's looking for. So you were supposed to measure from that hole right there. You measure off 3/4 of an inch to right there. And then you're going to measure 3 3/4 down. And that is the hole right there that you should have for bolting it in. The next step is installing this power steering line and feeding it through the frame. This is the line that it is talking about. Okay, this is the end that's going to be coming out here. This end will hook up to the pump. All right.
Make sure you clean up the fittings before you install the line.
Where this comes through, I now need to put this grommet back in there to tie it down, keep it from moving around, and then I'll go back over here to the line of the power steering so I can tighten that up. I was able to fish the washer in from the inside the frame rail, and then I'm using my pliers to hold the washer up, and then I'm gonna try using a socket with the nut in it, or just use my fingers to try to get that nut back on. Okay, I was able to put that nut back in, and now I gotta tighten it back up. Seemed to be the only way. I just put my hand in there, contort it in the way I can get the nut back on. One tip is if you had a socket on the top of the carriage bolt to hold it down and maybe it'll tighten it. Maybe you could tape the nut to your finger and get to line up and then tighten it up that way. But I was able to get it started.
Now I'm going back and making sure that all these lines are lined properly. I disconnected the line. The new line that I installed was off a little bit, so I needed to bend it back into the correct shape so it will align correctly when I go to bolt it up. The reason why I'm making sure that the hydraulic lines are aligned is so that it doesn't leak when I tighten it all up.
Next step is I'm in to install this valve. This valve that comes in the kit, I'm assuming it sits in there like that to match up with the existing holes in the top of the frame there, and the one that's hidden right over here. The instructions call for installing the valve here, but all this stuff is sitting in the way, so all the linkages need to be pulled up and all these hoses need to be pushed out of the way. And here's the valve. It looks like it goes that way to line up in the frame, which there's a lot of stuff in the way. Might actually just have to go over it all. I moved my my choke and my throttle cable out of the way. Now I'm going to see if I can thread this through in here. All right. I think that's got me all the room. Here we are. Oh my gosh. One. Here's the other. Valve is loosely installed. There's a lot of hoses to be hooked up. At this point, it's saying to install the levers, install the linkage and the levers. But if I did that, then I'm gonna have no access to the fittings below, so that doesn't make any sense. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and start feeding in some of these hydraulic lines that I would not be able to get in otherwise. This is the high pressure line. And this one's gonna go to that auxiliary valve. So I've still got the valve itself in here loose. The other end is going to this bottom elbow. I think I'm as comfortable as I'm going to be with where the placement is of the valve. Go ahead and tighten it down. From underneath, you can see this is the new auxiliary hydraulic. This line goes up the top to the steering cylinder. This line comes back to the existing valve.
these two ports, one there, and then there's one more underneath of it is where we hook in the rear hydraulic lines for, and then I'm going to be swapping them to the rock shaft so I can control my rear 3 points separately from the front. This came pre-installed with caps on them. Those caps need to be removed, and those caps move to where the existing rock shaft was hooked onto. You can see the one port at the very bottom and then the one above it on the elbow. Underneath you can see the one port that's going down, and then the other port is farther up there. I need to connect the two lines and run them to the rock shaft. All right, now I have the top line installed and the bottom line installed, and they're just laying down in the middle of the frame so I can then connect them to the existing rock line shafts. From underneath, this line right there, that's going to be removed and put a cap on it. The other one appears to be this one here. Is the other line going to the rock shaft. So those two need to be removed, and then here's our two short lines that were connected off of the new auxiliary valve. Here's that line disconnected and cap to go on. So the line that comes up, goes back into the frame rail, that's the one that needs to get removed. So again, I'm probably gonna have to remove this hard line here so I can get at it. Here's the one that gets capped. Here's the second line. So now the top cap is installed. So now I have both of the rock shaft lines disconnected from the normal solenoid, from the normal valve. Now I got to connect the lines back to the auxiliary valve so I can run the rear rock shaft off of the auxiliary valve. Here is the top line from the rock cylinder going up to the bottom line on the aux valve. For the line that comes off the top of the auxiliary valve, I found that you can turn this kink in the hose. So this is the hose that comes from the bottom of the rock valve, and now kinks, and then comes up to the bottom of the auxiliary, or to the top of the auxiliary valve. In the next video, I will install the levers and put everything back together.